And if it's good, there's going to be the good, there's going to be the bad. And when you hit the bad, you know, you're there to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or not so good.
Or not so good. But I don't believe, and I've never believed that I'm going to change because of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other thing that happens as you mature and you get older is you lose your filters. And you also become a little less tolerant.
Yes.
Just like when we started this and we said, you know, do you want the 10 friends or do you want to read 100 books? How come everybody was so against the 10 friends? Because we've all had experiences of the so-called acquaintances, but it's just easier to say they're my friends.
Mm-hmm.
When really it's, you know what, my life would be a lot easier if you weren't here. So how is that supposed to be your friend? So that's why, that's how I look at it. But I
agree with those.
I believe it's all in levels, and I believe it also depends on your own maturity. And there is another thing that's important.
Okay.
And you can look it up. There's a study out of Emory University that has proven, and it's now being used, that children who suffer various forms of trauma carry that through adulthood. Mm-hmm. And genetically, it can be passed to their children. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole thing where they used to say nature versus nurture. You know, is it really nature? Is it genetic? Or is it something you were raised? And now what they're starting to show is, in fact, all of that damage, you know, that is done to children when they're young, they carry it with them. And when they carry it with them, they decide to have offspring. If it hasn't been resolved, they technically can be pushing it forward.
Okay, so what comes to me with that is slavery is a big one. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that they endured, that they passed generation after generation, which makes certain black people afraid of authority, afraid every time they see the police, it's their nature. It's you know, you do certain things again. It's not. I agree that it is in our. It's a lot of things are in our nature. It's in our nature. It's not just what we were shown. I think it comes from birth. And I'm gonna use this as an example. When I was pregnant with my first son, I remember being told that I was reading a book because I love books, and the book was like, read to your baby and sing to your baby while you're pregnant, and it'll make your baby smarter, you know, more nurturing. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I did those things, and I feel like that was how that child came out as far as intellectually. However, with that child also, I dealt with a lot of ridicule. I dealt with a lot of rejection, a lot of neglect because I was a teenager. And I had the church that was speaking negative. I had the family that was speaking negative. And all this. So I learned to be in a shell and kind of walk alone, right? So when I look at that son, I feel like deals with, I see more emotional, like, damn, I ain't give him enough love or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of his emotional stuff is out on social media or in public, you know, whatever. Like he put something on social media yesterday, and it's on social media, and people that know me know I responded to it. So hey, it is what it is. He put some post on social media yesterday or the day before, and it was like, you saw it, and it was like me, how I look, because I keep falling
in love, sorry.
Falling in love, falling for whatever. But it was somebody, a guy sitting down, and he had his face painted like a clown, right? He looked like a clown. I keep falling for something. So my post, oftentimes I don't fall for the post. You know, I mean, I don't respond to certain posts. But he on my nerves right now. So I was like, well, stop damn falling. You know what I'm saying? And then I keep asking you, like, why you got to put stuff out? But in other words, he's my most emotional or needy child that needs something. But then when I look at, huh?
Is that your cancer?
Yes, Lord, like you. So then, but my Virgo children, I was fighting when I was pregnant with them. Like I'm fighting back. Like, you ain't gonna be talking, you ain't gonna do this. Some people got physical, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So it turned into that. So when I look at those children, two in particular, when I looked at those, I see more aggression in them, and the ones that I didn't think I wanted to have, or considered not having, or seriously considered not having, then I feel like they have shown more. They needed more too. They needed more too, and have done more to try. I feel like you have done more to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Like I count. I matter. Like so to speak. So I'm saying all that to say I do agree that I think that a lot of it is how you carry them in the womb is what passes over.
I agree with you. Like you were saying, B, you were saying, a lot of times people don't realize, like diabetes, if your mother and father ate bad, you born eating bad, unless you find another way.
High blood pressure.
You know, a lot of times people don't understand that you can take on mental baggage, health baggage, poor diet baggage. You can take on whatever. You can pass it on to your kids a lot.
Well, let me say this for my sensitive children. I love all of you. Children don't always feel like a blessing. But as I got older, I realized it ain't as easy to have babies as I got them, because you could breathe on me and I was having them, okay? But I love all of y'all. Y'all have been a handful. I love y'all. I'm complete with that statement.
Just gonna leave it right there.
All right, y'all. We get
Oh, and I am pro-abortion, okay? So you know her. I am pro-abortion. I had one of those too, right? Pro-choice, right? So anyway, I was going back to that when I was saying, you know, when I thought I didn't want to have them, but I had them because, you know, God said there was a reason something. Okay, did anybody watch Rich Homie Quan's funeral?
I watched
did.
some of it.
I watched all 3 hours.
So I have
What's your views, thoughts, questions?
questions. So,
He's a rapper, local Atlanta rapper. Now Rich Homie Quan Day is on September 17th. They gave him a
I
proclamation,
want to
so
say
it's
something.
on.
I want to say something right quick before y'all start. You know, you had several mayors and city councilmen to come up and say, today we're going to announce this is Rich Homie Quan Day. Why didn't make it the day while he was living?
That's all I'm saying.
To me, what did he
Same
do?
reason why everybody cried at
They
funerals.
always wait until you die.
What did he do for you to come to his funeral that you probably don't know him and say all this? I think a lot of times people lie at funerals, and that really kind of bothers me. You know.
Well, he represented Atlanta.
that was
And
a
some of his
photo
stuff
op.
in his music.
For politicians, that was just a photo op.
You know, I don't really get that. You know, to me, if I'm a gangster, please, y'all, don't pay a minister to come over there and say I'm a good guy.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
Well, what are you saying? Is that what you're saying
Is
about
that
him?
true?
Because
No.
right now we're talking about the funeral.
I just say, you know.
Don't have me no funeral at the church, because y'all know I don't go to church like that.
I just feel like.
If you don't go to church
I just
like
feel
that.
like
You know what I'm saying?
no,
Like,
people rush to
have
get
my
to
funeral in the
funerals
park.
and feel bad if they miss them, and the person that's dead ain't gonna know you there. And then you have the people that lie. Not saying they lied at his funeral. I just feel like it's a lot of funerals, pastors and speakers
Can
get
you
up
scroll
and
it
lie
down? Hold on, y'all.
About-
Thomas, go ahead. I gotta read.
about the person.
Down.
You know, other than his
Yeah,
family, his immediate circle.
Okay.
I think that's all. You know, the baseball
A little bit more.
coach.
He got
You
some
know,
more
a
going.
childhood friend. Those people to me are sincere.
Some more.
Family member, brothers and sisters. But when you have a pastor and that child, that
Come
person
on.
they go to church there
Down.
you haven't looking or whatnot,
I was.
how you can sit up and say something about them?
Okay, hold on. Thomas said the source. Go up a little bit more. Let me see something. Okay, a
Thomas,
little bit
call
more.
in.
I know, Thomas. You know the number 678-661-1819.
Everybody
It
finna read
says
all
you
that.
can forgive, but you can forgive, but I won't forget. None of us are perfect. We all need forgiveness. Reg, you go up a little bit, please. The other way. Okay. The
Thomas,
source of my trauma and pain came from my father. I was holding on to the pain for a long time. I had to forgive, hold in, blah blah blah. Can you go up a little bit more, Reg? Thomas, you gonna have to call in.
Thomas, you need some minutes on your phone. Call me.
No, in me,
I
don't
pay
in
'em.
me.
Come on, man. Shucks. Ain't nobody trying to read all this.
I can't see it. Okay, Thomas.
Oh, I read.
Call us 678-661-1819. It's still on, but it's just too small now. He made it small.
But
Sorry.
that's the way I feel. I think a lot of times people for funerals I just don't agree with a lot of stuff.
Okay, go ahead, Wendell. Because we're talking about Rich Homie Quan funeral now.
Okay.
I said comments on the funeral. Okay. Because now you talking about funerals.
It was really nice. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of money was spent.
I like the casting.
He did too.
Willie Watkins liked it more.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Good on
Because he
that.
did his thing.
Yes, he did.
As usual.
I don't think he had any true people around.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a lot of leeches around.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Mhm.
take on him from what
Mhm.
I've read and about him. He seemed like he was a typical young cat.
Right.
But for him to leave the way he did,
Mhm.
that tells me all that I need to know, that he didn't have any real, genuine folk around him. You can say, well, he had his brother, his dad, and his girl. Nah.
His brother and his girl were the ones that were at the
Because
time.
it- Because if they were genuine and true to him, he wouldn't have been found like he was found.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take.
Right.
That's the way I feel.
Okay. You don't know.
I don't-
Did you watch it? You said you watched some of it.
Yeah, I watched some of it. I agree with everything you said. I mean,
The funeral was nice.
yeah, the funeral was nice. And I do also agree with Roscoe because he said that made a very profound response to saying that a lot of people get up there and just say whatever
Mm-hmm.
and make it sound good. No, get up there and just tell the truth. If I was an asshole, say he was an asshole, but he was a good asshole. He was a sweetheart, but he was an asshole. Be honest about it.
I think the people that went up were honest. The people that went up. I thought the funeral was nice. I think that it's unfortunate, and probably I feel maybe it was. I was looking at it. I'm Atlanta, west side of Atlanta, so I represent anything Atlanta. I love Atlanta, right? Listening to his music because I have sons and I have a lot of sons, young sons, whatever. They listen to that music and I listen to some of it, so I'm familiar with the music and I listen to the lyrics. So some of his lyrics I understand and can relate to. I feel like they talked about how he spoke about how in the school systems, that in the school is where he was first exposed to drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And how basically, and I'm saying this because one of the mayors of South Fulton, he said that with black males especially, when they are in schools, how they try to label everybody. Basically, they label them ADHD or ADD, and then they medicate them. The parents let them medicate them. And going back to what Quan was saying, that's how he was first exposed to drugs. Okay, so then you see it in the street, you get it in the street, and then things happen. And I'm saying that because some of that was my experience, except for I didn't let anybody drug my kids. Whatever drugs they doing now, they did it on their own. It wasn't on my watch, okay? I think I felt like the people that had the good things to say, and sometimes the one that makes it out, or the one that is the responsible one. And I'm gonna say that because years ago I was told I had a familial bond, meaning your family, you're gonna be the one to love everybody, and you're gonna lose yourself trying to save everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in watching him and listening to what was said, I feel like, and most people would, that if you made it, you're the one that made it, you're going to try to look out for your family, right? Your family, and he seems to be a people person. And one thing I tell people a lot, I may have a lot of people around me, but I am still oftentimes alone, right? So watching it, I felt like that could have been the case for him. My heart went out to his parents. I think it was great that his dad was able to be there. I thought it was great with the attorney, the black attorney, you know, all that stuff. So I thought the funeral was nice. It reminded me of church, like church that I don't go to no more. Remind me of that kind of church. I knew the songs, and I'm having church in the house, and they laugh, you know, talking junk, and I'm like, I know this song, so that was good. So I thought it was nice. I thought the flowers were beautiful. I'm sure they paid Creflo and Willie Watkins a whole lot of money because they put their thing on and set it up for him. The dad initially said he did not want to have a funeral because that was his son, that was his baby. And I could relate to him so much, not because I've lost a son, but the things that he was saying about his son is what I felt when my mama died. When mama died, I didn't want to breathe. I didn't want to live. And I had kids and grandkids because that was just 11 years ago. But I didn't want to live. And like he said about picking up the pieces one by one, putting my life back together and trying to figure it out. Like, I could relate to all of that. So I was very moved and touched. I prayed for his family, his mom, his siblings. I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. And however they found him, who found him, why they put him on the sofa, why they didn't call 911 right away, why they didn't feel the pulse, all that, because people are making all these speculations. I don't have any of those. It's just unfortunate he lost his life, and he is the same age as my son. Next, I feel like it's so messed up and trifling. All the broads that came out the woodwork, putting pictures up, showing, oh, this is me and him, like, this is me and him, like, oh, he was my boo and he was my boo. Like, there, to me, it was just tact. It showed no tact at all. It was classless, and there's a time and a place for everything. And I feel like when he just died, and coming up to his funeral, for all the people, all the girls, the chicks that came out showing pictures of him and them, and us booed up and us kissing and all this, and they were saying because you see it all on social media. I just think it was classless. So my opinion.
But that's their mentality.
It is.
Right.
That's the world we live in.
They don't see anything wrong with it.
They don't. I said my opinion.
Yeah. I agree with you.
It was classless and tacky.
And
a real man, I don't feel like a mature man. Let me say that a mature man would not find that appealing. I don't think. I'm a woman.
Understand, you gotta remember we're older generation, so therefore for them,
some of them young men don't think it's cool either because they be caught up.
But
get in
for
trouble.
them, it's the norm. Women, I mean not women. Some of these women, they don't know how to be classy because they not taught it or they don't see it or they're not around it. So they do what they follow the movement. You know, like repeat and repeat. That's what I call it.
Yeah. But I think it was sad at when I'm speaking about the
Yeah,
funeral and the stuff that came out.
You gotta know, like you said, the time and place when to do it.
And he had all these baby mamas there, and they're grieving, and then you got all these other chicks that's out there putting all this stuff like, he was my man, and he was my man, and we could,
almost like
right. One
See,
girl was saying she was a friend, but the videos looked like it was something else.
Because later they're gonna be trying to say, well, I got a baby by me, my baby needs some royalties and all that. So that's gonna happen.
DNA, I believe that.
That's gonna happen. I've been through that, done that.
Y'all heard me. That's because I made a good drink, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I made a good drink. I'm always the bartender, y'all, and I get new recipes.
I'm gonna let y'all hear the song. So.
Oh, another part. Did y'all see on the funeral where was it start? He was talking about how Quan, when he said Quan talked real fast, and he was like, yeah, when you get over here, you pull over here, having a retirement party with me, and I need you to put it. You saw, did you see a part of it? Okay, so anyway, I talk fast. But one of my sons talks just like that, right? Yes, but we can understand. But we can understand him. Like, so remember he translated it. So again, when you Atlanta or west side of Atlanta, then I was like, and they say I talk fast, but I understood that too, and I thought that was cool, and it made me think about my son also.
No, this is my thing.
And I'm saying that because it's in the song.
I know his dad, and I remember Rich Homie Kwame, he was a little boy. I just didn't know that was the same kid. I feel sorry for his dad, and his dad always had that same temperament about his kids. And I can understand why the dad probably said at first he didn't want to have all that, but he was caught himself giving back to his family. But that's a real bad place to be in, especially when you have.
And he tried to change the generational stuff. Because his daddy said he didn't have his daddy, and he made up in his mind that when he had kids, he was going to always be present. So I thought that was cool, too. Well, we got to go, because Rez is ready to go. And it's time to go.
Have a good one.
And Roscoe, the DJ, got to go. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, on a Saturday or Tuesday, one of these nights, y'all, I'm going to go for about 4 or 5 hours, and if everybody want to pull up, y'all can. Okay?
Then let me know.
That's what we're going to do. All night. We're going to go 4 or 5 hours. We're going to get Rez on one night.
Or Saturday.
Saturday is probably better because that's what everybody
Arena
keeps telling me
Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I give
On
you
a
still
Saturday.
about a good 2 hours.
Saturday night.
On Saturday night, we're gonna have a whole.
Yeah, like all night long. All night long, we're gonna eat and drink. Okay, y'all, let's pick the time. Don't be calling now. The show is over. Who is it?
Have a
Thomas.
good one, everybody.
Have a good night, y'all. Thank
Good
y'all for
night.
coming. Wait, before we go. What y'all thoughts about tonight? Because you know I do this every show with all the virgins.
Yes.
What was your thoughts about being tonight? Were you nervous? Because some people said it seems like they're gonna be nervous. People,
I
everybody
was
watching
nervous
them.
at first, a little bit.
Can you turn it down a little bit?
It's Thomas.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah,
Since Thomas,
I
you
know.
made me break the phone. Because you calling 20 hours later. Hold on. We're letting them tell us how they feel about being here tonight. Would you come back, and how do you feel about tonight?
I had a great
Oh, stop
time, and
it.
I'd be back.
I would definitely come back.
Okay. Well, y'all nervous? Because that's what some people
Yes.
say they want to come, but they're too nervous. And does this
No.
room make you nervous?
No nervousness,
Just nervous when you didn't know.
no. Right.
Turn
Once
around,
you get
let's
in,
go for the
you
speaker.
get comfortable. It's
The unknown.
Speakers on the back.
Okay. So this is how we do every
What's up,
Thursday.
Thomas?
What's up, Thomas? Thomas got something to say to us.
Thomas,
Say it again, Thomas.
Yes.
do you need anything?
I'm calling in. Y'all told me to call in. I'm calling in.
You 2 hours late.
Do you need some minutes paid on your phone?
Go ahead and do the benediction. Do the benediction.
Carry us home,
I
Thomas.
just wanted to say I'm glad that you talked about forgiveness. I think forgiveness is very necessary, and I said that forgiveness is necessary because of trauma. Trauma, especially within the black community, has been passed down from one generation to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't forgive, if we don't learn from our elders, if we don't learn from our own experiences, then the trauma will be passed down to your children, your children's children, your children's children.
Yeah.
That's why y'all march, Thomas.
And the last thing, in Quan's funeral, that was the thing too. They did talk about how he had a lot of beef different
You know I gotta
places,
mess with you.
and he made amends with several people when he came back or before he came back, because forgiveness was important, and that was the message that several people were trying to push out, that forgiveness and making amends and some stuff ain't that serious, and let it go. So, Ashe, Thomas, thank you. Love you.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Earlier next time.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you.
Take care, okay?
It's picture time. You know what it is.
All right, bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, y'all. It's time for our pictures, so we gotta say good night to y'all. Thank y'all. Now you can play the theme music, the horns or something over there now. Okay, y'all.
Hi, this is Prima with Category Conversations with me, just Prima. Tune in every Thursday night from 8:30 to
We're
10ish
gonna let them take pictures right quick.
to see what we have going on. We talk about everything under the sun. Nothing is off limits. And call in 678-661-1819.